Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the first episode of what I hope to be a long series of episodes that we'll continue to do. This is going to be the Beach Boys podcast. Basically, the idea behind it was we just get a bunch of like-minded Beach Boys fans and just, have some episodes where we nerd out, just talk about some different topics about the Beach Boys. And today we are going to be doing the top 10 songs. So the way that we've worked it out is we each have a list of 10 songs. We're going to go through one at a time, starting at number 10, which will be from the lowest down to the highest. And we're each going to give our song, give a brief explanation of why we picked it, and then get into a little dialogue about each song. And then at the end, we're going to try to see if we can come up with like a cumulative top 10 list comprising of, a little bit of each of our lists. So that it's quite the task. I don't know if we'll be able to do it, but we're going to try it. And hopefully it's fun to listen to. So we have Tisana, we got Josiah, Nate, and I'm Mike. And thanks a lot for doing this, guys. I appreciate it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And let's just jump right into it. So we're going to start with Tisana. So let's start with number 10. What's your number 10 Beach Boys song?
All right, so number 10 is God Only Knows. And I know a lot of people are like, why isn't that at the top of the list? Oh my goodness. But I think this song is, I think it's just a very simple song, a song that pretty much appeals to everyone. It's not like super crazy creative. I mean, like there's a lot of creativity in it, like the French horns coming at the beginning, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's a really great song, and that's my explanation. And I also love it because like I said before, I am a Christian. I just I don't know. I feel like there's that just pull towards God that is like, I just feel like the Spirit, like the Holy Spirit, like in that song. So yeah, anyway.
So what I would say to that is I agree with a lot of what you said. And one of to echo what you were saying about it kind of being a song that appeals to a lot of people, a lot of normal people that aren't diehard Beach Boys fans. I think one of my favorite things about the song is I think there is some intricate stuff going on with it in terms of the chord progression. Like you said, the French horn. At the end of the song, you have that vocal round, which is really cool. A lot of people don't even know what a vocal round is, and you can just explain it to them. Just say, listen to the end of God Only Knows, listen to the alternating vocal parts. And I appreciate the fact that Brian's writing is able to encapsulate all of these different elements, but package it in a way that's very appealing to like a mainstream audience. And I think it's very hard to kind of maintain that balance. So that's one of the things that I especially love about that song.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'd say I agree with what you said about it being like universally appealing and feeling like the spirit in the song. Where I'd almost disagree is that it's a simple song, sort of because like with what Mike was talking about, chord wise, it's totally all over the place in the best way possible. And I think the arranging is so sophisticated with the flutes and the French horns and
sophisticated
drums.
Sophisticated, it's definitely sophisticated, but just because something is it's ordered in such a way that it is simple.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's meticulously thought out, the simplicity and order of it, yes.
And it does have, it still has some of that wacky Brian Wilson to it, like that whole middle section, the da 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 da. Like, whenever I hear that, I'm like, that's so Brian. Just know that's going on in Brian's head. Any thoughts, Josiah?
No, but didn't Paul McCartney say that was his favorite song?
He did.
Pretty sure he did it. Yeah, which is cool. That's an added plus to it.
Nice.
Yeah, says it all.
So for my number 10, I'm going to start out with a B-side. I'm going to go with I Went to Sleep off of 2020.
What? Oh my goodness.
That's a fun one.
For whatever reason, I've always loved that song. I like that song for a lot of different reasons. One thing, the chord progression is really wild. And the vocal harmonies against the chord progression creates this really nice sound. I love the sparse clarinet lines that are kind of sprinkled throughout the song. And I like the light percussiveness that's going on in the background. It's a very stripped down, simple kind of song, but you look at the title, I Went to Sleep. And I think that the mood of this song completely encapsulates that vibe of just like a sleepy kind of like, lazy, not wanting to do anything, and combining that with like just the genius of Brian's sense of harmony and stuff like that. I've always just loved that song. I always thought it was one of the most underrated Beach Boys songs.
That's very fair. I totally agree with everything you just said.
Yeah, with the harmonies, the way that he uses crazy chord extensions like major sevens and nines and all that, but packed so close together, it creates such a rich sound, and it's relaxing. It fits the lyrics.
Yeah, it's so relaxing.
And that flute, like you said, is Brian's arranging is just so creative.
Right, and it's so simple, right? You just have a couple instruments going on, but just that one instrument adds such a nice, just such a nice touch to the song. Without that instrument, I feel like the song would be significantly different.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Josiah, let's hear. What's the number 10?
All right, number 10 for me is off one of my favorite albums of theirs, Sunflower, and it's going to be This Whole World.
Yes.
Amazing song.
Yes.
Big on the chorus. I think that's like that always gives me chills every time. Like, the first time it comes, and then at the end, da na 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 da na 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 na. That part at the end just hits me right in the gut every time. It's awesome.
So good.
That you're talking about the part where
agree.
it's like do 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 do
Yeah.
do, and you hear like the vibraphone in the back. Oh my
Yeah,
god, so
that
beautiful.
part's so good.
That specific section right there is like one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. I was like, I wish I could just hear that on loop for like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Carl, oh my goodness, that voice, so good. Yeah.
And they brought back the Wrecking Crew for the backing track on that one. Those guitars are going crazy. It's I think it's Earl Palmer on the drums.
Dang.
And yeah, there's so many key changes in that song. You're just like, okay, we're here. Wait, no, we're here. We're here.
Right. The thing that's so interesting about the chord changes in that one too is that I feel like that's one of those songs where when you're listening to it, just, not really thinking in terms of harmony and stuff, you don't even really notice how much weird chord stuff is going on. But then I remember I figured it out one time and I was like, wait, there's all these, are you kidding me? Like there's this many key changes within the span of like 30 seconds. It's wild.
Well, try being a musician trying to learn Beach Boys songs. Like, it's insane.
It's truly an adventure.
I learned music theory by Brian's chords. It like how he learned harmony from the freshman. I learned harmony from Brian.
Yeah, hey, that's a good way to do it. Why not? All right, Nate, what's your number 10?
My number 10, this one might drop some jaws, is Why Do Fools Fall in Love.
Oh, I know, I agree. I completely agree.
What is that on Shutdown Volume 2?
Yes, sir. I just I think the arrangement is like so out of this world, and legend has it, that Brian was just drinking a shit ton of coffee when they were recording it, and he kept telling them to play faster. You can hear it, and I just love the baritone saxophones, the tambourines, the strumming acoustic guitars. It's like such great energy. Not to mention like Mike's bass vocal. Brian's lead.
Yeah, so good.
Like Mike is a master at those lower vocal parts. I will give Mike love that. His lower, bass vocal parts are just spot on. I was not expecting that. I think of the four of us, Nate, I give you the most unexpected song for number 10. For sure, I did not see that one coming.
You guys are going to be way shocked at that higher on my list.
I can't wait. I'm hoping that we have a lot of different, a lot of disagreements. That's what makes it
I think
fun.
my number 9's the only one that's really hot takey. So we'll get to that here in a minute.
Nice. Well, here we are. We're on number 9. So Tisana, what's your number 9?
All right, my number 9. You guys probably knew it was on my list because I was freaking out about Please Let Me Wonder. But number 9, Please Let Me Wonder.
Oh my God.
Guys, I'm telling you, this song, the first time I heard it, I was so stirred, like overwhelmed, that I like went outside in the middle of the night and I just started walking around, and like me walking around like a teenage female in the middle of the night, like it's like I should not be doing that, but this song just like it just takes over. It's like so, and there's something so I don't know, so melancholy and so like just something so vulnerable about it. I love it. yeah. Anyways.
So beautiful. Great wall of sound production.
Yeah.
Not to keep going music theory nerd, but
That's
like
fine.
that dominant ninth chord. I know we were talking about that one time, like in the chorus.
Right.
Whew, it totally translate that heartache feeling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also love in the chorus that call and response where you have the higher part, please let me want, and then you have if I da, 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 that other part underneath going against each other, and then they all combine over the please let me wonder on that major 7 chord. Oh, so pretty. One of the most, I think, hands down, one of the most beautiful Beach Boys songs.
Yeah.
So crazy to me that the B side of today is like, I mean, you know, A side's really good, but the B side just blows it out of the water. So, in my
True.
opinion, at least.
I think the B side of today is one of the best sides of a record ever, hands
Mhm.
down. Like I listen to that
Yeah.
B side and I'm just like every song I'm like, oh, other than I don't really care for I'm So Young. Other than I could do without that song.
What? You're kidding.
that
You're
song.
kidding.
That was one of my
You're
hard cuts at the
kidding.
very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite songs.
Me too. I like
Oh
the
wow,
demo.
I'm the lone wolf on this one. Yeah, I never
Yeah,
cared
you
for that
really
song for
are.
whatever reason.
Oh.
What I like
Oh.
about today is I feel like it really encapsulates like being a teenager, because the first side is
Yeah,
like all the
teenage
fun you
longing.
have and the dance and this and going out with your girl and all
When I
that, and
grow
then the
up.
second side, yeah, the second side is like, you know, the shitty times basically, you know, the
Yeah.
introspective times.
Yeah. Love it. That's a great choice. All right. So for my number 9, I'm going to get into Pet Sounds now. My number 9 is I'm Waiting for the Day. I absolutely love that song. Kind of, I would almost echo what you were saying about Please Let Me Wonder. I mean, the first time I heard it, I didn't, go wandering outside in the middle of the night, but I was definitely really touched by a variety of different things. I mean, the vocal melody along with the lyrics, just so beautiful, really beautiful chord progression. And then I love the background vocals when the second verse comes in, where you have the da da. It's so pretty underneath the main vocal line, and then
Yeah.
that whole little middle section where everything drops down, and you have those really interesting harmonies within the horn sections. Or I'm sorry, not even horns. It's like a string section actually. And percussion, nice use of percussion. Just all around an amazing song. One of my favorite songs on Pet Sounds.
Yeah, that was another one that I hated to cut, but it was like top 15 easily would have made it, but
Right.
and probably tomorrow it'll probably be in my top 10. So
Yeah, we'll have to revisit this like in a month and see what's changed.
All right. Well, my number 9 is just kind of a weird one. It's not that weird, but it's off Holland and it's Leaving This Town,
Great choice.
which is yeah. I don't know. I love the piano in it. That's like piano in the chorus is just, it's a weird mopey song. It sounds like it could probably go on Surf's Up if they really wanted it to, but I'd say it's Fatar's best contribution. So just
I
my personal
really
opinion.
love
Go ahead.
the chord progression and the Moog solo in Leaving
I'm
This
honestly
Town.
not even sure if I know which. I mean, if I heard it, I'd recognize it, but I don't think I know this song by title.
Yeah, nobody like it's
No,
like
yeah, I
not a
don't either.
popular one.
It's not the one that starts out with like a bass line with the little piano solo.
No, that's Here She Comes.
Right.
Here She Comes is good too. It's the best one
that's
off Carnival Passions, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Nate, are you going to surprise us again with your number 9?
Probably not Here Today. I had a hard time putting it too low. I had a really hard time putting it that low, but man, one, I think the lyrics just perfectly describe how relationships are, you know, how they don't last forever, how it just totally wraps that up perfectly. And then how the trombones and the Fender bass are going down, but the harmonies are going up. I love that. There's just so much creative arranging. And then, the break, how Brian left the talking in, with Bruce talking about cameras. It's just the song that I would show someone to encapsulate Pet Sounds. Like, to me, arrangement wise, lyric wise, harmony wise, it sums up Pet Sounds perfectly.
I agree. I think, like you were saying, it's got a lot of what everyone likes about Pet Sounds from a theoretical standpoint. Like in here today, you're getting a lot of those really cool slash chords. You're getting cool instrumentation. You're getting these huge, massive vocal harmonies, especially in the chorus, when it all kind of culminates into like this massive, crescendo into the chorus. And it's got that middle section. I have my guitar. I'm gonna just play a couple chords here and there, but that middle section where it goes, and then
Mm-hmm.
but if you listen to the bottom part, there's a lot of weird. It's
The B minor over an A, right?
right, like that chord right there.
Is that E over G?
Yeah, it's A over G and then E over G.
Yeah,
Super
that's how
wacky, right? But like,
I'm so glad that you could confirm that for me.
Brian pulls it off somehow, though. The only reason I know that's the next YouTube video that I'm uploading, because I got to finish all of Pet Sounds. But yeah, I agree with everything you said.
Major over a G, and he pulls it off.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I don't know how he does it. All right, you want to go to number 8?
Sure.
All right, so I put I'm Waiting for the Day as number 8, and yeah, I would
Good.
I don't have much to say because you pretty much said everything before, but yeah, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate this song enough, but yeah, it's amazing.
For me, like when that song comes in on Pet Sounds, it like, because you have "Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder," which brings things down, and then I think following that, I'm Waiting for the Day is the song after that, right? On Pet Sounds.
Wait, you said
yes,
what?
it is. Yes, it
right.
is.
I said after.
Yeah.
I like the placement of it on the album
It
too,
is.
because you have
Yeah.
"Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder," which is really mellow, brings
Yeah.
things down, and then I think that song is perfect for bringing it up. Starts right out with that, the bass drum, or I don't even know if it's like a marching bass. It sounds like, or
Symphony.
something like that.
Yeah.
Symphony, yeah. It just brings up the intent, the vibe, just perfectly.
Whenever I'm near drums, I always tap that beginning part out with my hand.
Me too.
Just naturally.
Yeah.
So good.
It's really great, and I always get like, just an emotional surge, like at the I kissed your lips when you're like the passion. It's so good. It's so good, and
his,
there's
almost angry.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting like Fender bass parts. I think Carol played those parts really high up in the neck, really high notes that normally wouldn't be ranged for the Fender bass to play,
Yeah.
You know what I've always found interesting about this song too? Like when I tell people that don't know a lot about the Beach Boys, when I tell them to listen to Pet Sounds, a lot of my friends have said that they really like this song. So this seems to be one of those songs that can kind of cross over, kind of like what we were saying with God Only Knows, where, a lot of, quote unquote, normal people can, enjoy it as well.
Which is good credit where it's due to Mike, because he wrote those lyrics.
He wrote the lyrics? Awesome.
Yep.
Wow.
Which, I think one of his greatest talents was taking Brian's experimental music, even as early as Surf and Safari or Warmth of the Sun, and making it accessible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, my number 8 is going to be Girls on the Beach. Absolutely love that song. Another one that I think is super underrated. It gives me everything that I want out of the Beach Boys in terms of it has more of that surf rock kind of vibe, really beautiful chord progression, really beautiful vocal melody. But then when it changes to the chorus, you're getting that interesting key change where you're getting a lot of that really interesting Brian harmony going on. And I love the little bridge that comes in where it's like, the water, the air. I don't know the words, but it's just got everything that I like in the Beach Boys packaged into one song. And I think it's one of the more underrated songs of the early surf rock period.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. People cast it aside because they think it's a Surfer Girl rewrite, but between crazy key changes, and I love Dennis's lead on the bridge.
Right. I like it more than Surfer Girl. Probably because I've heard Surfer Girl way more times.
Oh.
I think, I've heard Surfer Girl so many more times, so maybe I'm biased. But
yeah. My number 8 is off Summer Days and Summer Nights, and it's You're So Good to Me.
Interesting.
Which I don't know. I've always loved that. People don't like Summer Days and Summer Nights that much, probably because of like Amusement Parks USA is awful. But I don't know. You're So Good to Me has always just been one of my favorites with the kind of staccato backing vocals of, like na 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 na. Yeah, I don't know. It's always been interesting to me, and then it's just one of my favorites. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, I really like that bass line in the bass and in the piano, how they doubled it up. Really strong sound.
For me, unfortunately, I'm not crazy about this song. For me, I've always thought of this song the same way that I think of I'm So Young. I love the B-side of Summer Days and Summer Nights, except for this one song. So that's where I stand, but I respect your opinion.
Yeah, not super keen on Summer Days and Summer Nights. Although there are a lot of good songs. I feel like I read Brian's autobiography and I was able to get a more full understanding of why I didn't like that album. And it's because Brian actually says Capitol didn't really like how Creative Today was, specifically with the B-side. So he sort of just tried to make a bunch of hits on Summer Days and Summer Nights, which, I mean, of course it still came out good, but I think it just becomes a little less genuine and
He
less
certainly
like,
accomplished
you know,
his goal.
yeah.
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 All right, Nate, what do you got for number 8?
For number 8, I have All I Want to Do, Sunflower.
Oh,
And that's from a songwriting perspective, what I love about Brian and Mike and why I think they were such a great team, because you have those great harmonies and chord progressions from Brian. Mike's lyric, it just hits home. It's so powerful. And then production wise, I've been lucky enough to talk with Steven Desper, who engineered everything from Friends through Surf's Up. And he told me a lot about how they manage that production. And it's a Rhodes organ run through a Moog to get that. And then there's like a tape delay between the lead. So that's why actually a tape delay in the whole track between the left and the right speaker. That's why it all kind of feels like you're falling down the stairs. So just such creative engineering and arranging on that hand. And then also the way that they used like tape delay and how the whole track is, I think like like almost like a triplet delay between the left and the right speaker, and just such creative production. So that's why, and I think it's probably Mike Love's best vocal.
Yeah.
Actually, it's Mike Love's second best vocal. I'm gonna say it's Mike Love's best vocal for later.
that's so cool that you have like an inside scoop into some of the production behind these albums.
Oh yeah, I feel really blessed.
That's great. So that's 8. Everyone did 8, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Tasana, what's your number 7?
All right, so I have a little backstory behind this song, me liking this song, but this song is I'll Bet He's Nice off of Love You, okay? I first listened to this song and I was like, what is this song? The first time I listened to Love You, I was actually highly freaked out. I was like, I don't know what this is. This is insane. But actually, when I heard I'll Bet He's Nice, when the first time I heard it, I was like, this song is 100% special. I don't know why, but it really is. And the more I listen to it, the more special it becomes. And I think what really gets me is like how all of Love You is basically these like super electric like keyboards, or like kind of, it sounds like, I don't know, an old video game kind of. And
Moog synthesizers.
Yeah, right. And in the back, like the boom 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 boom, just the
Yep,
I love that.
it's so great. And Carl's vocal, like when I heard that, I was like, oh my goodness, like what in the world is going. It was like so much feeling, so much just like pain, but also so much love. And I was like, there's just when he's like, baby, don't you, it's like okay, anyways, yes.
Totally. Really creative arranging on that song, like all those crazy synthesizer parts, and such great vocals from so many of the guys that even Bruce is on the outro doing
Wow.
something like that. It's you.
Yeah.
Bruce came in the studio for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and to echo what you were saying about the like kind of like the video game sound, that's one of the
Yeah.
things that's always attracted me to Love You, even down to like the
Yeah.
album cover. When you look at that album cover, it looks like some sort of crazy pixelated like video game sort of thing. But you know, I love the technology that they were experimenting with that was available at the time. You can clearly tell that they were trying to, you know, do something new
Mhm.
with their sound. I think Brian did an amazing job on that entire album. I love that album.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
it's one of the last really great Beach Boys albums, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know Nate will disagree with that, but you know, maybe he can change my mind. Who knows? All right, my number 7 is In the Back of My Mind.
Oh.
I can't say enough good things about this song. I mean, this was one of those songs when I first heard it, I almost cried. I was like, this is so
Oh.
beautiful. Probably my favorite song that Dennis has done. Perfect way to actually, it's not the last song on Today, right? Isn't there like a
No.
filler song
There's a
afterwards?
bull. There's a bull.
There's Bull
It's called Bull
Sessions with Big
Session with Big
Daddy.
Daddy. Oh, it's so good. Love.
But as far as like a way to wrap up the second side of Today, and as far as a song goes, I don't think they could have picked a better song. It's very mellow, really interesting chord progression, and just an incredible vocal performance from Dennis's part. I think it's just absolutely incredible song.
I'll agree with that. I think that's probably Dennis's best vocal. It's just so strong the whole time, especially at the end. You know, when I'll always be
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
in the back of my mind.
It's interesting. I mean, I would disagree that's not my favorite vocal Dennis has. Mine would be his on Little Girl, You're My Miss America, but I definitely think the vocal on In the Back of My Mind, I definitely think that just it what's the word? When it paves the way for a lot of his later work. Actually, there's a lot more like you can tell there's a lot more stress and tension in his voice that comes out later. There's that purity is slowly like leaving. It's very
That's a
interesting.
really interesting turning point. Yeah, I never noticed that as yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah, when you look at a song like that compared to a song like Forever, right, there's definitely a
Right.
contrast, I would say. And I feel like you can
Right.
hear hints of Pacific Ocean Blue. Like I would say Pacific Ocean Blue is a little bit more overly produced, maybe, of just maybe because of the time it was made. But I feel like you can hear some, you know, hints of Pacific Ocean Blue in that song.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, Josiah, what's your
All
number
right,
7?
my number 7. Another interesting one, I guess. Dennis song. One of his rockers. I really like It's About Time, and I don't know. I just something about it. It's the last of my kind of weird ones, but I know people always love Forever, and you know, but I don't know. I like that. It's just such a good rocker. Great drums. Kind of off-brand, I suppose, for the Beach Boys, but it's still cool and it's still fun. So
yeah, killer bass line.
yeah, absolutely.
That's on Sunflower?
Yeah, it's on Sunflower.
Okay.
For the bridge part, it's about time, about time now. That string bass part playing like kind of Mike's vocal line, doubling Mike's part.
Yeah.
Stephen Desper recorded the front and the back of the string bass because the back produces its own harmonic since it's such a big instrument.
That's
so
cool.
Isn't that totally mind-blowing?
Yeah, that's really cool.
This is great that you know all this stuff. You're bringing a lot of cool,
Yeah, what
cool
in the
stuff to the table.
world?
I don't know anything about that stuff. I can comment on the chords maybe, but as far as production wise, I'm hopeless when it comes to stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I can't even play instruments, so.
My number 7 is I Do.
Is what? Sorry, I didn't hear it.
I Do.
Oh, okay.
Is that a later one?
That's got to be a later
from
one. Isn't it?
64.
Is it?
Yep, from 1964. It's a rewrite of County Fair. Brian recorded it for a group called I can't remember the name, and then he
The Honeys?
did a bridge to Beach Boys. No, not the Honeys. It was.
Oh, is it on Shutdown?
It was supposed to be on Shutdown, and
Oh,
there was
so
a
it was
bonus track
okay.
on the
Okay,
CD.
yeah. I almost included a bonus track, but I pitched it.
Yeah, so there's a bonus track on the CD. Brian originally recorded the song for a group called the Castells, which was just a vocal group that he put together to prove that he could make a hit without the Beach Boys, and it tanked. So he recorded it with the Beach Boys, and then just they never put it on an album until a bonus track. But if you guys get the chance to listen to it, great arrangement, great bass playing. It's the Wrecking Crew and some of the band members themselves, like Carl and Al, are mixed in there. Great vocals, and probably one of my favorite Brian leads.
That's fun. I'll definitely listen to that.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that. I'm glad that.
Nope, neither have I.
Turned on.
Me either,
I'm
me
getting turned on to
either.
new songs. This is good. This is great.
Yeah.
Learning something. All right, number 6. What do you have, Tasana?
All right, so number 6, classic. We've got "Don't Worry, Baby." This song for me has been kind of a song that's carried me through my life. Actually, I didn't really get super into the Beach Boys until this year, but I always loved them very much. I always loved, Pet Sounds. But this song basically has, since my freshman year of high school, has just really been a song that's really resonated with me. And there's just something so tender about just like this, thinking about this like girl telling her boyfriend, like, don't worry, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. And just like thinking like that's what Brian needed, was that reassurance and that love and that sweetness. And I love the lyrics, but I also love, it's basically him trying to make "Be My Baby" by the Ronettes, the whole bum 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 in the beginning. He's and it's a very, yeah, it's a great song. It has, the wall of sound, classic Phil Spector thing.
Didn't he offer it to Phil Spector, and Phil was
He
like,
did, and Phil Spector was like, nah.
Mistake made by him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
absolutely should have.
Ronnie finally recorded it
Right.
on one of her solo albums. Yeah.
All right, is that me? So my number 6 is, this is another one that I think is one of the most underrated B-side songs, "Let 'Em Run Wild." Absolutely mind-blowing song. This is one of the songs, the first time I heard it, I was like, oh my God, Brian did it again.
It's just such great chords, how a lot of, like, you'll probably know, like 2-5-1 stuff going on, and it's just the way the chords lead into each other. The chords themselves tell a story.
All right, what do we got, Josiah? Number 6.
All right, I'm gonna go a little bit more conventional here. I like Bruce. He was a fun addition back in the summer, back in summer days. And I think my second favorite song of his, my favorite song will come later, is "Disney Girls." It's slow, and it's just, I don't know, I love it. It's just peaceful, and it fits perfectly with "Surf's Up." And isn't it right after student demonstration time? I could be wrong with that, but
before it.
Okay, it's before it. Okay, either way. I was gonna say, if it's after it, that's good, because it's the absolute worst song on that album, for instance. But I don't know. I love it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, I've always loved that song. Why does it say 19? Why does it have that year in parentheses?
I think it's because it's about longing for the 50s. So I think he probably just threw that in there. Maybe that was an important year to him. I
think it's also a very, 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 very poetic song. The one line, just like "darkness goes and softness shows," that is so beautiful, and it's just so well written, and it's a very sad song, but I think it's interesting that you mentioned it being about the 50s, because there is this almost artificial happiness that was within the 50s, just like, oh, it's okay, like, we're just gonna get through it. But it's sort of displaying a man who's not happy with reality. It's not for him. He doesn't want it. So yeah.
It has some sort of like melancholy aspects to it too in some of the lyrics. Like there's that part where he says something about like giving somebody a Tootsie Roll, right?
Yeah.
Is there something like that?
Really,
like, I love that.
Yeah.
Right.
So good.
Yeah. I love that little vocal thing where all the instruments drop out too. Those are some of the craziest vocal harmonies of any Beach Boys song. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like
totally.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they end on that wacky chord that's like outside of the key, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
I actually have a Bruce song for my number 6 too,
What do you got?
and it is "Endless Harmony."
Ooh.
Is that a
I
later
think,
one?
yeah, that's from "Keeping the Summer
Yeah.
Alive." Last song on "Keeping the Summer Alive." I think the chords and the arrangement are so beautiful. I kind of, even though the autobiographical nature of it is a little cheesy, I think given the fact that it's Dennis's last song that he performed on, that combined with the autobiographical nature makes it very powerful to me. I love both Bruce's and Carl's lead vocal. Yeah, just in the outro with the how it goes a cappella, magical.
Another one I have to check out more. I got my homework.
I'm real not well versed after Here She Comes on the Light album. I don't like know anything because I like the, or not Here She Comes. Here Comes the Night. I don't know why I said Here She Comes.
Oh, that's a great one.
The 10-minute disco one, because I listen to
Yeah.
that frequently. But yeah, after that,
I
don't
love
know
that
anything.
song. Yeah, I kind of fall apart
too.
after "Love You." I got to admit.
Yeah,
I'm good
same
with "That's
here.
Why God Made the Radio," but
Yep.
that whole middle period, I get a little lost.
You're missing out. Missing
I know.
out.
I'll listen. I'll give it a second listen for sure. Or, well, I mean, I've listened more than one time, but I'll keep listening because multiple people have
Yeah,
told me, especially with "Keeping the Summer Alive." I've heard from a lot of people that I need to check that
it
album out again.
Yeah.
took me a long time to warm up to stuff like Summer Live or Summer in Paradise, but I think once I listened to them enough, I grew to love them because there's a lot of interesting music buried beneath the cheese, kind of like the early stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, number 5. What do you got?
All right, so I've got Good Vibrations, but the one off of the Smile Sessions, not the one that's super like disjointed and strange, but the one that's just normal and they just add the humby da, that whole thing. So yeah, that I really love the weirdness that it brings to the table. I think Good Vibrations is really just probably one of the best songs ever recorded.
I
And
think it's the best
yeah,
that
yeah.
ever have been and ever will be. Nothing will ever top it to me.
Yeah.
I just gave away my number 1.
Uh-oh.
I also, have you guys ever heard I think the original lyrics there, when Brian remade the album, I don't like it as much as the Smile Sessions, but it's like, you know how he adds the part like, and I'm picking up, like that whole thing. I really wish that would have been in the actual song, but it's not.
And I think, I mean, people talk about this all the time, but like how many takes it took to get the cellos perfect. But like, man, are those cellos so stinking perfect.
Badass.
Yeah, the triplet
Like,
thing. Yeah.
it's just every time I listen to it, I'm like, it was worth the 8 billion takes it took to get them straight on.
Amen. So
On like
creative.
like when Brian ended up doing the Smile concert, way later on. I know when he played that, like, is he singing like different lyrics in that verse? Because I remember, I feel like there was like a lyric. Yeah, what is he? Did he
he's
mess up, or is
singing
there alternate lyrics?
Tony Asher's
She's already
original.
working on my brain.
Yeah. So for his Smile album that he did, they used, like she was saying, Tony Asher, who did the Pet Sounds lyrics, his original lyrics, which were like filler lyrics, before Mike Love wrote the real words. But for whatever reason, they thought it would be fun to do that, maybe as a fuck you to Mike. I don't know.
Well, Mike loves dropping that song as like one of the songs he wrote the lyrics for and came up with the chorus. That's like his big.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like his huge like claim to fame when it comes to the Beach Boys. Which I'll give credit where credit's due. It's a great chorus. It's great lyrics.
Yeah. Man, I could never thought of those words. Those words are from another planet. He was probably smoking something when he wrote those words.
Mike Love?
Mike doesn't claim to.
I was gonna say Mike doesn't
do anything, right?
Jasper told me that they all smoked. They all smoked in the 70s. They all smoked.
All right, my number 5 is Surf's Up. This was probably one of the first songs that I heard where I was just like, it kind of just completely destroyed my idea of the Beach Boys being just a surf rock band. I heard that song and I was like, holy shit, what is
That's the
this?
one that
Is
changed
not.
everything for
I
me
was like,
too.
this is not what and whenever I show somebody a Beach Boys song for the first time who kind of always thought of them as surf rock, this is a song I show them, and it usually goes over pretty well. Usually most people are like, oh my God, this does not sound like the Beach Boys. And I had that same reaction. I love, the contrast between the three different sections in the song. I think they're all different in their own sense, but they all fit together perfectly. And the dynamics going down for the middle section where it's just piano and singing, so beautiful, and then bringing it up for that ending section with those really cool vocal things going on in the background, and that crazy cool bass line. Just an absolutely incredible song.
Amen.
So weirdly, like when you think about it, it's such a weird song too, because it starts off, with one. You just said this, but I'm gonna say it again. It starts off with like one part, then it dips, and then it comes back up. It's like when I first heard it, I was like, "Is this the Beach Boys? This doesn't sound like anything
Right.
I've ever heard by them." And then that one part, when he says "surfs up" and then hums a little bit, like chills every time.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the title has the word surf in it, like it automatically, even though it means surfs up, which obviously means that you're not surfing anymore, it still elicits this idea in your head of like the beach, at least for me.
Yeah.
So then, and then you hear the opening, you're like, wait, what? This song's called Surfs Up?
Super cool song.
Yeah, great.
Lyrics are crazy.
Oh my God, Van Dyke Parks,
Amazing.
genius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have no
He's
idea what the
amazing.
lyrics mean, but I love them. It's so, it's another weird thing about that song too. Most people I feel like have no idea what those lyrics mean, but everybody that I know that likes that song knows like all the lyrics somehow. And
Yeah,
it's like, I feel like
toughness
it's so
and
hard.
talent.
Yeah, it's so hard to get people to learn lyrics when they don't know what the song is about. So Van Dyke Parks somehow pulled it off. So props to Van Dyke Parks for that.
I always thought I was getting the lyrics wrong, and then I looked them up and was like, "No, I'm getting them right. It's just don't make any sense."
The only part I was always getting wrong was columnated ruins domino. Like that part,
Yeah.
I would just kind of make up words, and then I was like, "Wait, he's saying domino over that high note? Wait, what?" All right, what do you got for number 5, Josiah?
Another Bruce song. Again, this is the last time Sunflower's showing up, but it's Deirdre.
That's my number
Amazing.
2.
Deirdre is so good.
Yep. So good. So good.
Beautiful.
I showed. Let's see. Me and some of my buddies listened to a different album each week, and that was one of my picks. And everybody put like Deirdre at number 1. Everybody's like, "This song is awesome. It's so good." And that was fun. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those harmonies, the way they blend together, so gorgeous.
Definitely one of my favorite songs on Sunflower, for sure. If I had to do like a top 3, it would definitely be up there.
Yeah.
For number 5, I have Big Sur, but specifically the 4/4 landlocked version, not the released version.
Yeah.
To me, it's so calming. Whenever I'm stressed out, I listen to that song, close my eyes, take a deep breath, and it's just so soothing. The harmonies, the arrangement, the Celeste, Brian played a Celeste, and yeah, love that song.
Is that the first one or the second one? Of the 3,
like
there's like
first,
three songs. It's like a 3-part song, right?
So it's a version that's unreleased officially. So if you want to hear it, seek it out.
It's so good. I know what you're talking about. It's amazing. Yeah.
If you look up like Big Sur Landlocked, you'll be able to find it.
Is that the Mike vocal? Because I don't know if he.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Mike's actually Mike's best vocal.
Sorry, say that again. You cut out. What did you say?
I just think that the landlocked version is probably the best Mike vocal ever. But yeah.
Wow, I gotta check it out.
Totally. Very.
I got a lot of songs to check out. This is going by quicker than I thought it would be. We're already on number 4. We're already getting down to the final 5. All right, so Tessana, what do you have for number 4?
Okay, so I have for number 4, I have Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder. And this song, you guys, this song is crazy. It's just the most, it's the most, like, it's such an innocent thing to do to just like lay your head on someone's shoulder, and like it also just explains like what's going on like in your heart and in your body like when you love someone that much, and when you just like are like, yeah, I'm just gonna lay my head on your shoulder, you know. It's just like, it's amazing. I'm speechless. I don't have words. It's such an amazing song.
Yeah, I love the strings. It's Brian's lead vocal. I like the percussion, the cymbals. Such a great arrangement.
Yeah. And it's like his just the first like lyric, the like, I can hear so much in your eyes and I can see so much in your eyes. It's like, you just, when you love someone and you have that much love for them, you just like, you can feel everything and see everything just in them like looking at you. And
Yeah.
It's great.
I love the simplicity too in the percussion. When you listen to the drums, it's basically just like a ride cymbal just doing like quarter notes the whole time. There's very little going on, but it just perfectly encapsulates the mood that he's looking for. And I also like the contrast between the opening section leading into the "Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulders." I feel like the opening part is much darker in terms of the melody and the chord progression. And then when it gets into the "Don't talk, put your hand," it's much more kind of like romantic and melancholy,
Yeah.
and I love that contrast.
Yeah.
Good. So what are we on? We're on 4, right?
Yeah. We're
Yes.
Is it it's my turn
Yeah,
now?
it's your turn.
Okay, sorry, the screens got mixed up. So my number 4 is another it's gonna be another Pet Sounds one. I'm gonna go with "Wouldn't It Be Nice" for my number 4, just because it's such a classic. I mean, it's hard to not include that one on this list. And I mean, I don't really know what I need to even say about this song. I think we all agree that this is just kind of like with Good Vibrations. There's really not much that we need to say.
Yeah.
You know? I also really love the version, the recent version with Matt Jardine on vocals and Brian sings the bridge.
yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Totally.
Yeah, I
That's
have.
beautiful. I love that.
That's really good.
And Brian sounds really good over the bridge. You know, I love it.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard the version off of the 40th anniversary thing? It's, and at the end it's like they have this little take from, I think it's from, oh no, actually I'm thinking about the wrong song. I was thinking about Caroline No, which on the 40th anniversary set, it has like at the end it has like sort of them just singing like around from Wouldn't It Be Nice. But yeah, anyways, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
On the 40th anniversary, you said?
Yeah, on the 40th anniversary album. Yeah,
Nice.
it's great.
Check
And
it
it's
out.
just so touching. Yeah.
I have like a list of songs to check out after this. This is great.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, it's Josiah now, right?
Yeah, it is. I'm really struggling if I should put 3 at 4 or 4 at 3. Because these are the first 2 are stuck in place, but these two are the next 2. And I'm gonna go with the Pet Sounds one. I'm gonna go "I Just Wasn't Made for These Times." I mean, it, like that one was. That's when, Surf's Up kind of got me to delve deeper. But that's when I was like, yeah, the Beach Boys are this Pet Sounds is my favorite album. The Beach Boys are my favorite band. It's the first time I heard that song. And love that song. It should be number 3, but I don't know. It's tough. It really is. I don't know, something about the chorus, the lyrics, it just works perfectly on so many levels.
Yeah.
So
I love
powerful.
the theremin solo.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, it's so good.
I love the pre-chorus too. The "Each time things starts" and those
Mhm.
background vocals.
And it
oh my
builds
god!
up.
And then when they keep and they take those same background vocals. I'll play it really quick. Oh, does the "Each time things start to happen again," right? And then at the end of the song, he brings it back. It wasn't made for these times. So I love how he brings those same chords. I love how he brings those same chords back later on in the song for that, that outro, which is this epic, huge build up into the final chorus. So they keep extending it and the fade out. I love all the fade outs on Pet Sounds. I just love, I think every song ends like perfectly with those fade outs,
Yeah.
I also love the drums right before it drops into the chorus. Yeah, the drums and what's the other? It's like a wooden block that's making that
Yeah,
noise.
yeah,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
tempo block.
right there, and that's so good. Right as it drops to the chorus.
That-
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the
Yeah,
part
that
right
song is
before
so
the
good.
theremin, when it brings in the do 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 do, but it's harmonized with all these weird chords. With I know there's like a clarinet, there's a couple of different woodwind instruments, I think, but I love how he takes that melody and then he puts all these bizarre notes underneath it to create these really dense voicings. Just another example of Brian just just blowing our minds as he always does.
Yeah. Yeah, that song like when I was a freshman in high school, before I had come to Christ, like that song was like my friend that like just like it's like it's a song you listen to when you feel very alone in the world,
Yes, it
and
totally is. Yeah.
it's so great. There's actually a remix done by this guy called Bullion, and it's really insane. It's really insane. Like a lot of people who like the Beach Boys hate it, but I really like it. So, but yeah, it's just look up Pet Sounds in the key of D, spelled D-E-E, and look up I Just Wasn't Made for These Times, and your mind could be blown or you'll be very angry. I'm not sure.
You
I
know what I'll
love
do
that album.
too? When I upload this video too, all of these interesting songs that we're talking about, like what you just said, and all of these like unreleased stuff, I'll put links for all of them in the
That's huge.
comment section
Awesome.
because we're bringing up a lot of good things that I haven't heard of before. So I gotta investigate these things. All right, and then Nate, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is California Girls.
Yeah.
Brian calls it, the Beach Boys anthem, and he's perfectly right between the great orchestral intro and
Yeah.
Mike's lead, the harmonies, the vibraphone and the organ doubling each other, the string bass and the Fender bass doubling. It's just a great wall of sound, great harmonies. It's sonic bliss. I've said that for other songs, but so many of their songs are sonic bliss.
I forgot that song existed. It should totally be on my list. I just completely forgot. In our family, we always had some stupid debate about what the lyrics meant, which me and my dad were right because we found an interview where Bruce proved we were right. But my mom always was convinced that California girls were the best, and me and my dad were like, no, it's all the girls are the best, and they want them all in California. And then I posted on Reddit, and somebody found an interview link that has Bruce saying that all the girls in the United States are the best, and we wish they could all be California girls. And we
Got
now
'em.
laugh at my mom
There
every
we
day.
go.
So yeah,
That's awesome that you have like Beach Boys debates within your
it
family.
was
Yeah, with your family.
years. It was years. It was like 6 years that this stupid debate went on.
That's awesome.
I have debates. So my dad and I go and see Mike and Bruce every summer, and we have fierce debates whether Bruce's keyboard is on or not.
Whenever I see Brian, I always wonder if he's playing piano at all during this. I can never tell if he's actually playing or if they just put it there.
So Totten, Mike's lead guitarist, told me that Bruce's keyboard's always on, and shoot, I can't remember. It was Totten also told me that Brian's keyboard's always on, because of the 50th tour. So according to musical director, their keys are always on. Just
Because
pretty low on the mix.
the first time I saw Brian was in Boston. This was maybe in 2015 or 16, and he was doing it was the Pet Sounds tour, but he did the first set was just like a lot of Beach Boys classics, and there were a couple of periods in between songs where he would just like noodle a little bit on the piano, and he played some really nice like jazzy stuff. But then like when the actual songs were playing, I couldn't really tell. I couldn't really hear any piano, so I was like, is he playing or not? It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think he just from what I've been told by band members, he is, but they keep it low enough to where like when he doesn't want to play, it's not like there will be a huge dropout in sound,
Right.
When he does want to, he's there. And actually the first time I saw him, he kept asking to have his piano turned up. Like he would literally say into the microphone, like, turn my piano up now.
I love him. Is that everybody for number 4?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Tasana, we're down to the final 3. This is a big moment.
All right, so number 3, we've got This Whole World off of Sunflower. That song is amazing. We've already listed it, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was my
I
number
love
2.
this song. Yeah, it's just
So
really
good.
great song.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good.
yeah, Carl's amazing.
So it seems like now that we're getting to the final, few, we're getting some overlap because the next song that I'm going to do, we've also mentioned too. My number 3 is Please Let Me Wonder. I can't say enough good things about that song. One of my favorite all-time songs. I would, if I had to pick one Beach Boys song that I would say is their most underrated song, it would probably be this. But we already discussed this one. I mean, just an incredible song.
Yeah, which more overlap. Surf's Up 3. We've already discussed it. Awesome, great album, great song. One of the best.
So it's funny because my number 3, the album mix is one of my least favorite Beach Boys songs, but the single mix is top 3, is my number 3 favorite Beach Boys song, and it's Rock and Roll Music. I think the single mix, the 45 mix, the synth, the Moog synth is just pushed all the way up to the front. Dennis's drums, which were toned down and partially replaced in the studio version, album version, are all there, really loud. And the single mix just creates the most powerful feeling. And my dad was a teenager when the single came out in the 70s, and he said it just blew his mind for the exact same reasons. He said it sounded futuristic because obviously he didn't know the music production stuff, but I just think the single version of Rock and Roll Music is the best example of the feeling you get from rock and roll music. It's just right all there with that rockin' and roll. Just it's the perfect rock song.
Didn't it chart really well too? I mean, not really well, but it charted pretty high.
Yeah. Enough for my parents to think that it was a Beach Boys song. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
This is final 2. This is big.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
a
scared.
big
I don't know
one.
which one I'm gonna put it 2 and which one I'm gonna put it 1. No, I do. I know.
All right. So my number 2, who we've already listed, is Wouldn't It Be Nice? Yep, that song is incredible. Also a song that I've known basically my whole life and has always been with me. And yeah, just been that. It's just like that, that reminder of just like what what I said kind of earlier of what we all want deep down inside. To be married. I mean, not everyone wants to be married, but in some way we want to be married. We want to find fullness. We want to be fulfilled. And I think what Brian is searching for in this song is actually more than just like finding the love of his life. I think the true love of everyone's life is like God and Jesus. And I don't know. I just like in God only knows, you just feel that pulsing through that song of that longing for, God. And I think it's beautiful.
One thing that I will say too, to echo what you were saying about how it's a song you've known your whole life, that's definitely the case for me too. And it's funny because prior to really getting deep into the Beach Boys, it was kind of one of those songs that I always associated with the whole surf rock sound of the Beach Boys. And then when I rediscovered them and I listened to it, I was like, oh my God, there's so much stuff going on in this song. It's great. It's not Surfing USA at all. You know what I mean? There's so much crazy stuff.
It's wild. I mean, it has two accordion players, like 2 drummers, like 3 basses, three guitarists, and then like 3 pianists or some weird thing like that. It's so many different people, so many different parts, and the accordions are so cool. Like, who would put accordions in the song? Brian's just like, let's do it,
And Dennis at the end with the like, good night, baby. It's so good.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, my number 2 is going to be God Only Knows, which is one that was already discussed. Easily one of my favorite songs of all time. That the ending vocal round could bring me to tears. Just so beautiful. I really don't know what to say that hasn't already been said. It's just one of Brian's best songs. By far my favorite Carl Wilson vocal song as well.
Yeah.
All right,
What do you got?
my number 2 has not been talked about, and I wasn't expecting it to be talked about. I was hoping it'd be talked about. It's another one off Pet Sounds, and it's an instrumental. It's "Let's Go Away for a While."
Yeah, let's go away from it. Yeah.
Great.
I understand
great
picking that.
choice.
Yeah.
That's my second favorite song of all time. My first favorite is number 1. Shocker. But I mean, just that part near the end when it, duh, duh, I don't know how to sing it, but
I know what you're
it's
talking
right
about.
after the end, right? It just kind of like calms down. It's so peaceful. Such an easy to listen to song.
With those like bass drum hits, the
Yeah,
da
yeah,
da da da
and
da.
it's just so pretty, and it's so I mean, it's kind of like a perfect transition into the B side, even though Sloop John B comes after it on the A side. It kind of cuts the album perfectly in half, and it's just a lovely song. I mean, that's all there is to say about it.
I think it's a great song too if you want to showcase some of the interesting production techniques that were getting utilized by the Beach Boys, like that little middle section where it goes da 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 da, and you have that like I think it's a rim click on the drums with like a delay on it, and you have the xylophone playing those things.
Block.
Really interesting. What's that?
Yeah, like a tempo block with the tape
Yeah, it's
delay.
wild. Yeah, and then just
And
the contrast between all the sections.
The slide guitar on "Let's Go Away for a While" in that middle section is not a capo; it's a glass Coca-Cola bottle.
Dang, that's
Dope.
amazing. Wow.
I mean, I said capo. I mean slide. Slide. My bad.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's rad. That's rad. Wow.
When I saw it live too, when I saw Brian doing the Pet Sounds tour, that song was like particularly epic to see live, which it kind of threw me off guard. I always loved that song, but hearing it live, it was amazing. It was so massive and full, especially that ending part that you're talking about. Like that part gave me chills.
Yeah.
You want to hear a fun fact that's kind of interesting?
Sure.
Since Nikki Wonder sadly passed away, Matt Jardine has picked up playing the slide part on "Let's Go Away for a While."
That's cool.
Nice.
I'm not sure if I know what part you're talking about. The slide guitar. When does that happen?
It's like in the there's just like that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And I think
forgot about that.
There's like the strings and probably a lot of instruments playing the part. So yeah, it might be hard to discern. It's not like a dobro or a bluesy slide type of thing, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is this it? Are we down to number 1?
No, Nate has his number 2.
Yeah, my number
right.
was Surgery, which we already talked about.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, everything about it perfect.
Yeah. So it's number 1 time.
It's number 1. All right. Drum roll. So for number 1, I picked the Smile Sessions version of Heroes and Villains. The first time I heard this song, I was knocked out, completely knocked out. Just what is going on? It's such a good song. And I think one of the parts that gets me about it is that I love country music. I'm obsessed. I just love country music. So I just love all the allusions to Marty Robbins, what's it called? El Paso. And it just reflects that America, that vibe of just like, I don't know, good guys, bad guys, cowboys, and I don't want to use a derogatory term. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's totally cool. And, but yeah. So I just love that song, and I love the "You're Under Arrest." It's just great.
Really nice piano stuff in that song too. Like I love the piano in that part where it's like, dance margarita, don't you know that I love the piano in the background, which is actually it's actually the same as the intro to I Want to Be Around. Is that what it's called? It's the same thing. It's you know how like in Smile he was recycling a lot of parts.
Yeah. And how it ends so orchestrally, like that part gives me chills when it's like, oh, so good.
Yeah, that's a great one. All right, my number one. This is one that we have already said, but this song is just too good. My number one is "I Just Wasn't Made for These Times."
Yeah.
Probably,
Mm.
you know, I always come back to that song, and it's one of those songs that never gets old. Every time I listen to it, I'm picking up on new things, and the emotion that I feel when I'm listening to that song, it's just amazing how I can listen to it over and over and over again, and it still makes me feel the same way. It just gives me that sense of like, it's so beautiful, but so heartbreaking at the same time. And to echo what you were saying before, you know, if you're an introverted person and stuff like that, the lyrics just completely can hit home with you in
Yeah.
certain circumstances and really be relatable. And the vocal harmonies and that pre-chorus specifically, like I was saying before, I really love that. And then that like percussive block thing that's going on in the background, such a simple thing, but it adds such an amazing touch to the song. So all of these little things culminating together, for me, that's my favorite Beach Boys song of all time.
Yeah.
Such a wonderful song.
All right. Well, I'm boring. It's Wouldn't It Be Nice?
No, I almost put that as my top one.
It's been my favorite song since I was like 13, and it's just not going to change. So, yeah, it's just awesome.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I think that almost made all of our lists. I don't know. We'll finish up with Nate,
It's
and then
the
we'll
saddest.
go through and compare.
It's the saddest happy song, or the happiest sad song, you know,
Yeah.
depending on how you look at it.
They say that about God
And-
Only Knows too, right? It's like the saddest love song. Wait, it's a love song, but the opening lyrics are "I may not always love you."
Yeah.
All
My
right, Nate, final one.
number one is 10 Little Indians. No, I'm kidding. My number one is Good Vibrations. Like I said, I think there's been no better song made before it, no after. It's just nothing will ever be made like it, and it's just so brilliant. I love how the hook, it's basically an R&B song underneath the crazy arrangement. I love the bass line and the harpsichord and the pianos and the guitars. It's just such a great wall of sound production. I think it's probably, like, as a unit, the greatest thing the Beach Boys ever achieved.
Sure.
Everyone's on their A game, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even it played that organ in the middle section.
Mm,
Gotta keep those loving good. Yeah, Dennis
it.
played that organ.
yeah.
Carl's playing
That's
bass
great.
on
Really?
it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Wrecking Crew, of course. So it's just like what makes the Beach Boys special, all in one song. The harmonies, the great backing tracks, the production, the lyrics, everything.
And you know that like that shroom shroom that sound during the organ part where it's like doo doo, you know, the swishing sound. It's actually like
Yeah, shaker.
a bracelet. Like it's a bracelet. It's someone flopping a
Oh.
bracelet like between their hands.
Wait,
Yeah.
which
That
part of the
was,
song is this?
That was Surf's
Um,
Up. That was Surf's Up.
Oh, you're right. I'm
Yeah.
stupid. Sorry. You're right.
What part is
Yeah.
that in Surf's Up?
The percussion during the verses.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
diamond
yeah,
necklace. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a tambourine almost, but it's jewelry. Sorry,
That's
I didn't
cool.
mean to steal your thunder.
See, I'm messing up everything. But yeah, that song is amazing. And also I feel like there's a story within it too, which I love. Like he's like, it starts off being like, oh, this girl, like I just love her, she's just amazing, she's cool, and then like we get to that organ part, and for some reason in my mind I'm always like, oh, this is where they get married, this is the whole marriage part, and then there's the big like celebration after the wedding, the whole reception with the I don't know, I just feel like it's sort of a story. So yeah,
I love that brief pause too.
yes,
Yeah.
the pause. Oh,
Like
so
it
good.
slows down, pauses, then it hits the gas again. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's epic.
Music isn't the notes, but the silence in between.
Who said that? Is that a quote?
I think that's Mozart. Yeah, it's Mozart.
Oh, good. There you go. All right, so this is really interesting. So I wrote down all of your guys' songs as we went through, and I circled any. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I change? I want to move. I just wasn't made for these times up to 3 and drop Surf's Up before.
Okay.
You convinced me. Your number one argument convinced me that I like it
Oh,
more.
nice. I was wondering if that was going to happen because I was actually torn between God Only Knows and I Just Wasn't Made for These Times for number 1 and 2, but I think I Just Wasn't Made for These Times. I just have to do it. I just
It
can't.
is. Yeah.
It's just too good. So it's interesting. So I circled all of the songs that we had some overlap on, and it's funny. I think me and Tessana had more similar choices, and then Josiah and Nate, you guys kind of threw in a couple that I definitely wasn't expecting. But as far as overlaps, it looks like there's 9 songs that at least 2 of us chose. We have God Only Knows, Please Let Me Wonder, I'm Waiting for the Day, Good Vibrations, This Whole World, Wouldn't It Be Nice, Surf's Up, I Just Wasn't Made for These Times, and Deirdre. I think, unless I'm missing anything else.
That's a great list.
That is solid. Yeah, I like that Deirdre made it too. I
I
was
know, I'm
surprised
glad
that
Bruce
Deirdre was your
sung
number
it.
2. That impressed me. Number 2 for Deirdre. That's badass. I like that.
You know, I actually like Tears in the Morning better than Deirdre.
I don't like Tears in the Morning at all.
I love
like
Tears in
either.
the Morning.
I love
Oh
them
my
both.
goodness.
So many people
it.
love that song, and so many people don't like it. I don't know. It's one of the
a lot of people ask me why I don't consider Sunflower to be one of their best albums, and for me it's because of Tears in the Morning and Student Demonstration Time. Both of those songs kind of lose it for me. I love the whole rest of the album, but if those 2 songs weren't on there, I would like.
I don't like
all of
that song's
Sunflower and all of Surf's Up are perfect, including Feet Pete, including Student Demonstration Time.
I agree.
What?
Surf's Up's my number 2 album.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, Student Demonstration Time isn't on Sunflower, right?
No, it's Surf's Up.
No,
I misspoke. All right, let me fix that before somebody destroys me in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Got to Know the Woman and Tears in the Morning. Those are the 2 songs I'm not.
I don't like either of those either.
That's funny. Got to Know the Woman's like my roommate's like one of his all-time favorites.
I hate that song. It seems like
come on, let's do the chicken.
You know why I hate it is because it gives me like the type of vibes of like someone who's like trying to catcall you or something. Like it just gives me. I get creeped out when I listen to it. I just can't. My skin crawls. I'm just like just like
was definitely that type of guy though.
Yeah.
That was written by Bruce.
He was.
Dennis.
That was Dennis, right?
Yeah, that's a very.
Can you imagine if Bruce wrote that song?
Yeah, Bruce.
I've heard that Bruce is not a nice guy in person. I've heard stories of people meeting him and saying he was like very dismissive and not friendly. But I mean, it's just an anecdote, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I've heard, both. I think all the guys are probably just human. They're probably dicks on some days and nice on some days.
Everyone is fallen, so.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you guys? This is a really random tangent. But do you guys know that girl her name is like Amanda Johnston, and she's always commenting things about Bruce. Do you know who?
Yeah,
you know?
She has Down syndrome.
Okay, yeah.
What does she comment on?
That she's married to him.
Yeah, she'll be like Amanda and Bruce forever or something. I don't know. Just an interesting
out of all the
fact
people to pick, Bruce
has a female stalker.
Yep.
Somewhere. Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, that is an interesting point. Of all the people to choose, you could even pick like a younger guy like Matt Jardine, who's not even that young, but in comparison, it's funny because when I first saw Brian and they were like, we're going to have Al Jardine's son come out, Matt Jardine, and I was expecting like a guy like in his mid to late 20s or something. And he was like probably like in his late 40s. And I was like, oh yeah, Al's like in his mid 70s. His son is not going to be my age,
Right. He doesn't, Al seems like he's in his 50s, it's insane.
Oh my God. He looks great.
Yeah.
And I will say Matt Jardine, I mean, if you need a vocalist that can capture the sound of that falsetto, like high Brian Wilson singing from the 60s, I feel like he's pretty much as close as it can get. Because when I heard him do Don't Worry, like they did Don't Worry Baby, and that was his first like big feature, and everyone's waiting in anticipation for the first opening lyric, and then he comes in and he sounds just like Brian, so he sings the first line and everyone starts clapping, like everyone's relieved. They're like, yes, he sounds like Brian.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that was fun. That was very informative. I enjoyed that. And
Definitely
like I said,
fun.
I want to keep doing these. So if you guys are, want to keep this going, I mean,
100%.
all kinds of topics we can keep doing. I would love to do one where we do top 10 Brian Wilson solo songs. I think that'd be really cool. Also.
That would be fun.
Wow, that's
Yeah, that'd be a whole different area to delve into. So I learned a lot from this. I appreciate you guys joining me and sharing all your knowledge. Hopefully we
Thank
can all
you.
learn a bunch of things
Well,
off of each other.
hopefully
This was a
nobody
lot of fun.
minds my potato camera quality.
I don't think anybody will have an issue. All right, awesome. So let's try doing one of these again next week. Maybe we
Absolutely.
can email back and forth
Yeah.
and figure out a new topic. This
Sounds
was
great.
awesome.
Yeah, I had
All
a lot of
That'd
fun.
be awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, thanks again, guys. I will see you
Nice
soon.
to
All
meet you
right.
guys.
All right.
Yeah,
Nice
nice
to meet you
meeting
guys too.
everybody. All right,
Peace.
have a
All
good night.
right. Bye.
Take care.